Live from the soccer complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island, you're watching exclusive men's soccer coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet. This afternoon, the College of Staten Island will look to build on their historic win against Rowan University over the weekend as they get ready to take on the Concordia College Clippers, as CSI will play their first Division II opponent as a Division II school. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Babusky along with Joe Foreman. And, Joe, it seems hard to believe another season has gone by. We came off of that exciting QDAC final, that heartbreaking defeat last year in penalty kicks. College of Staten Island comes out, plays a good exhibition game at home against Ramapo College, goes out on the road, drops a tough game against Rutgers Newark, and then picks up that historic win against Rowan University. So lots of stuff happening for the College of Staten Island in Division II soccer here in 2019.
And after a very tough finish to last season, you mentioned that heartbreaking defeat in the CUNYAC Championship, the College of Staten Island coming out strong early this year. You referenced that exhibition against Ramapo, a game that the Dolphins tied the Roadrunners at 1. But Ramapo came into that game ranked 14th in the nation, so a very impressive showing for the College of Staten Island in that game. I was in attendance for that one. A very hard-fought, physical, back-and-forth game. Went to double overtime and ultimately ended tied at 1. And as you mentioned before, the College of Staten Island then moved on to Rutgers Camden, and in that game, the College of Staten Island dropped that result by a final score of 2-0. But following that defeat, adjustments made by the College of Staten Island going into their matchup with Rowan University. The next day, that game, a 2-1 victory. As you mentioned, a historic victory for the CSI Dolphins men's soccer program. They defeated the Profs 2-1 for the first victory over Rowan University in the history of CSI Dolphins soccer.
Joe, it was a game that CSI came out quickly, scored the first 2 goals on the road at Rutgers Camden, really right in the backyard of Rowan University, and, got great goaltending by Christian Carlucci, especially in that second half. And, the College of Staten Island was able to come away with a big win. And, you look at this CSI team, Joe, you look at the year they had last year, you look at the fact that this team didn't graduate players, and you're looking at an absolutely loaded version of the CSI Dolphins in 2019.
And you're absolutely right about that. And in that game against Rowan University, one of the new faces on this Dolphins team, Christian Puccio, scored a goal on a header off of a saved shot in that game. And Puccio has been one of the key new additions to this Dolphins roster. You mentioned CSI did not graduate any players. A key returner, Philip Lefkowitz, scored another goal for CSI in that game on a long shot. A very impressive goal for Lefkowitz. Head coach John Tardy was talking to us about that goal, and he was impressed by that goal from Lefkowitz as well. And the College of Staten Island, of course, needed both of those goals in what was a very impressive victory over Rowan University, a game in which the Dolphins were outshot 16-8, but the stat that matters, goals scored. CSI wins that game 2-1 and hopes to carry some of the positive momentum from that game against Rowan into today's matchup with Division II Concordia College, the first time the College of Staten Island will take on a Division II opponent.
And it'll be Jake Folds in goal for the Dolphins here this afternoon, Joe. Both Christian Carlucci and Wilson Quintero both unavailable due to suspensions.
Very unfortunate circumstances following the end of that game against Rowan, but without detailing that too much, as you said, Mike, Wilson Quintero and Christian Carlucci both not available for today's game as the result of receiving red cards at the conclusion of that matchup with the Profs. So the Dolphins will have Jake Foldis in net today. He has a 75% save percentage and has allowed a pair of goals this season in his lone start in 2019. Of course, that game came against Rutgers Camden. That was a game the Dolphins fell, as I mentioned before, 2-0. So it will be Foldis in net this afternoon, looking to slow down a Concordia College team that comes in having only played one game this season. They're 0-1. They fell to St. Michael's by a score of 3-0.
Yeah, this is a Concordia team. They have a second-year head coach coaching them, and, they're looking to build their program up as well. And, for the Dolphins, Joe, uncharted territory. For those of you that may not have been following throughout the year, the Dolphins now a Division II college. They're transitioning over to Division II this year. So although they will play teams in the CUNYAC schedule, they're really playing those games with an eye towards building the program for the future.
Of course, Mike. A lot of first-time opponents for the College of Staten Island this year. Concordia College, just one of those coming up. A game against Adelphi University, followed by a game against St. Thomas Aquinas. Some very talented teams on the upcoming schedule for the College of Staten Island through the rest of the month of September this season. And, of course, they can't look ahead past this Concordia College team. As I mentioned, they've only come in having played one game so far. It didn't go too well for them, but this is a team that is a Division II opponent. Certainly a game the Dolphins can win, but a very formidable opponent at that.
Yeah, and all these games really barometer games, Joe, especially these games early in the season against a Division II opponent. And it'll be interesting to see how the Dolphins do this afternoon as they really upgrade their schedule and start moving into playing more Division II opponents.
Well, you mentioned the Dolphins not graduating any players or losing any key pieces from that team that had a CUNYAC championship berth and, of course, the resulting heartbreak in that championship game last year. But this Concordia College team did lose their leading goal scorer from last year, that being Marlon Buck. He had 13 goals on the season for Concordia College. He does not return. Dennis Limani is the leading returning goal scorer for Concordia. He had 6 goals last year to go along with 4 assists. So he will be leading the attack for this Concordia College team in this game, and we'll see if the Dolphins can slow them down.
And, Joe, you look at this CSI Dolphin team from a year ago, and they're really coming off of a historic season, especially offensively. 77 goals for the team, 4th in the nation, averaged 3.85 goals a game, 2nd in the nation, and, really played just fabulously. Bryant Navarro coming off of a 20-goal season. Phil Lefkowitz, who had the big goal in the game against Rowan University, 16 assists, which was 2nd nationally last year. And, of course, we have to mention head coach John Tardy, now the winningest coach in CSI soccer history.
And we'd be remiss if we did not mention that accomplishment. But we take a look at the Dolphins' schedule. I spoke about what the Dolphins have upcoming in the rest of September. But beyond that, really, from late September forward, a lot of CUNYAC games, a pair of non-conference games, and the Dolphins now, of course, a member of the East Coast Conference, still playing a CUNYAC schedule block for one more season. So we will see Medgar Evers here, of course, York on the road, Brooklyn College here, Hunter on the road, Lehman at the College of Staten Island, Baruch on the road, CCNY at home, and then they wrap up the season at John Jay. I believe they did actually add one more game to their schedule at the end of the season, so I'll have to add that to our game program. But I do believe the Dolphins added another game on October 30th. I want to say that game's against Felician, but I'll double-check that and have that information for you shortly. Either way, a lot of unfamiliar opponents coming up for the College of Staten Island, but we'd also be remiss if we didn't mention their dominance against CUNYAC opponents last year. They only surrendered 1 goal in conference play in the 2018 season, a big part of the reason why they found themselves the top seed entering the CUNYAC playoffs and ultimately in the CUNYAC championship.
Yeah, and you look at the Dolphins' schedule this year, Joe, 15 games in the regular season for the Dolphins, just 5 here at the CSI Soccer Complex. So Dolphins are going to have to be road warriors in 2019.
And I believe that was the case last year as well, but it sounds like the national anthem is about to be played and the starting lineups introduced. So we'll have a moment of silence in remembrance of those who lost their lives on September 11th as well. So Mike and I will step aside.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island. Be sure to check out the Kettle Black's monthly calendar of events, only at kettleblackbar.com.
We're back, and we're just moments away from the start of this afternoon's game between the College of Staten Island and Concordia College. And, you know, Joe, before we get into the starting lineups, very hot, very sunny, very humid here this afternoon at the College of Staten Island.
And I can certainly attest to that. The setup here was a little bit warm, and I'm happy it's over, but I'm happy to be back on the air for the first time this year on CSI Sportsnet. And to kick things off this afternoon, I do have the starting lineups for both teams, beginning first with the visiting Clippers of Concordia College. In goal will be number 1, Mikhail Varin. The rest of the starters in numerical order for the Clippers: number 2, Romardo Bigsby; number 4, Valmed Markey; number 7, Dennis Lamani; number 8, Alessandro Battaglia; number 10, Freddie Nava; number 11, Johan Felischer; number 15, Christian Perez; number 17, Nicholas Pael; number 24, Nemenha Zivanicic; number 26, Ricardo Velasquez. And for the College of Staten Island, in goal, number 31, Jake Foldis. The rest of the starters for the Dolphins in numerical order: number 4, Alexis Moran Navarro; number 5, Daniel Angulo; number 6, Mohamed Sow; number 8, Patrick Longo; number 9, Chris Vendra; number 10, Christian Puccio; number 11, Ryan Lehman; number 12, Bryant Navarro; number 16, Philip Lefkowitz; and number 21, Eric Condi.
So the College of Staten Island, coached by head coach John Tardy. We mentioned Coach Tardy, now the winningest coach in CSI history. for Concordia College, Jose Dos Santos, in his second year as coach for Concordia College. So a big game here this afternoon, Joe, for the Dolphins. One of 5 home games currently on the schedule for the Dolphins, and we're underway as Concordia with the first touch. And the Dolphins will look to play the ball in towards midfield, where Lefkowitz is there to play it for the Dolphins. And Lefkowitz gets the ball over to Angulo, and the Dolphins look to start offensively. And Concordia able to come away with the ball, as that's Nava in midfield for the Clippers. Mentioned, Joe, hot game early in the season. It'll be interesting to see what kind of strategy both coaches employ here in the early going.
It will be, Mike, and this weather certainly has to take a toll on the players. Hydration will be key, of course, as it always is. I anticipate a water break or two in this one, but we do have the clock working in our favor. It's 4 o'clock right now as this game gets underway, so hopefully we'll be finishing this game underneath the setting sun.
So the ball played out in towards midfield and under the foot there of Navarro, as both teams kind of trading 50-50 balls here, Joe, through the first minute.
A lot of play in the midfield thus far through the first minute plus. Dolphins gain possession right here.
So that's Longo looking to play the ball, but it's Fleischler able to come away with it momentarily for the Clippers as they look to build the attack up in midfield, but Dolphins able to come away with the ball and play the ball towards the back, and now they look to work their way up from the near side. That was Condi losing possession, a big turnover there, and now it's Zinovic coming in for the Clippers as he looks to play the ball into the middle. A nice pass there, looking for Nava, and the shot goes just wide. So big opportunity there early for the Clippers as they get their first opportunity at goal.
A great early opportunity for Concordia coming off of the Dolphins' turnover. They work the ball across the field quickly from the near sideline all the way outside of the far post, and that shot just wide, firing back across the net with the Clippers unable to connect as the Dolphins play the ball across the front of their goal once again.
Yeah, so that was Freddie Nava looking dangerous early, and the Dolphins forced to play the ball out towards midfield. But once again, it's going to be Battaglia stepping up to knock the ball away momentarily before Vendra plays it back for the Dolphins. Played now out into midfield for Navarro, but once again, Dolphins giving the ball away, and Concordia doing a good job putting a lot of pressure on the Dolphins, Joe, in the midfield, as now the Dolphins look to play the ball up the far side of the field.
And Mike, I do have a scoring update from Mahwah, New Jersey, as we'll wait to see what the result of this Dolphins rush is, and that ball travels over the far sideline. But to the moment, scoring update from Ramapo, the Roadrunners have taken a 1-0 lead over the Dolphins. Women's soccer on the road looking to make it a perfect 2-0 this afternoon. They've fallen behind 30 minutes into the first half.
Yeah, and, you know, Joe, I know you were here for the women's opener on Saturday, and a nice win for the Dolphins. You know, they're a team that's got some new faces on it, and of course some returning faces, but a good job by the Dolphins in their home opener, Joe.
It was a very entertaining game, a game which saw 5 goals scored. Samantha Laval scoring 2 of those for the College of Staten Island within the first 7 or 8 minutes of that game. But Laval picking up right where she left off last season, and that was a very competitive game from start to finish. It was Jordan Yagos, Dolphins freshman, who ultimately scored the deciding goal in the second half. That goal put the Dolphins up 3-1. They would see their lead trimmed to a single goal late, but Penn College, after a late flurry, unable to tie things up. Dolphins came away with the victory in their home opener, which was also their season opener.
So Longo with the long pass, it's going to go out of bounds, and the throw-in will come here for the Clippers. So really only one opportunity, Joe, so far for either team, and that was a good opportunity for Freddie Nava.
And that being said, Mike, a very good opportunity for the Clippers early on. Dolphins fortunate that they didn't pay for that turnover in their defensive half of the field, and you hate to see that, Mike, as the ball nearly took out one of our laptops and then found its way dangerously close to our mixer, and a baseball got the best of our mixer last year, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
Joe, I had it covered, though, so we were good.
That's what I like to hear. A lot of our spectators have their heads covered in our fin hats. Maybe we'll get a shot of those at halftime, but if you're watching and you're on campus, come on down to the CSI Soccer Complex and get your Dolphin Fear the Fin hat. foam hat that rests on top of your head. Fear the Fin on one side, CSI Dolphins on the other.
Yeah, it's an awesome hat, Joe, and, it's an awesome soccer team that this men's team is putting out this year. And, it really should be really an exciting season, Joe. We mentioned, how dynamic this team was, especially in their ability to score. And, really expecting good things from that team. Is breaking inside that time was Lefkowitz, but coming out to play the ball will be Varon for the Clippers.
Well, we spoke about it during the pregame, Mike. The level of talent this team returned on top of the talent that they added to this roster this season. There's a good shot they could have done something very special if there was the potential for postseason play. Unfortunately, that's not the case this year, but College of Staten Island looking ahead toward a very exciting future as a Division II program, and this team should get that future off to a very strong start this year. They've already had a program-first victory this season against Rowan, and they'll hope for many more of those with a lot of first-time opponents, Division II opponents, on the upcoming schedule.
Yeah, basically every game they play this year is a playoff game for the Dolphins, Joe, as they'll look to win as many of these games as possible and build up the team as strong as possible, and that ball's going to be played by Navarro in midfield, but so far the Clippers doing a good job keeping Navarro and Lefkowitz pretty quiet on the offensive end.
And right there, it was Ricardo Velasquez who took that ball right off the forehead. An attempted pass up the field by the Dolphins immediately met the head of Velasquez, but that almost sprung the Clippers onto the attack as they now have a throw-in from deep in the attacking third of the field. As we've seen some more spectators gathering around that far sideline as this game has progressed through the first 7 minutes plus.
Yeah, so the Clippers looking to play the ball in toward the middle of the field, but it'll be out of bounds, and it'll be a free kick upcoming here for the Dolphins. 6.5 minutes into this first half. No score between the Dolphins and the Clippers. CSI men's soccer home opener. And, there's been other action going on, Joe, besides just men's and women's soccer here already. The Dolphin season is underway, and it gets underway quickly, as we know.
Certainly does. I got to spend the entire summer here in a full-time role for the first time and get a look at the preparation that goes in to getting our season underway and all the work that goes on behind the scenes that you don't see on Sportsnet or out on the field when we stream our games. And there's a lot that goes into it. A lot of people deserve a lot of credit for making the Division II move happen. It was an incredibly exciting time here at the College of Staten Island, and I'm greatly looking forward to what's to come for not only the men's soccer program, but for the college athletically now and in the future.
Yeah, a lot of excitement coming up here in the upcoming year as the Clippers looking to play the ball forward. They get it into midfield. It's Perez looking to play it over onto the near sideline, and the ball played onto the foot of Fleischler. As Concordia doing a nice job and really doing a good job, Joe, surrounding the ball. Really 3 players toward the ball every time the Dolphins have possession, and now they're attacking down the near side as it's Fleischer. Fleischer looking to build his way toward the baseline. He loses possession, and the Dolphins able to come away defensively with the ball, but Clippers doing a nice job putting pressure on this Perez, working the ball back up over now to Battaglia, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the Dolphins. That will be on Lefkowitz, and that will create a free kick opportunity here for the Clippers. And Clippers coming out fast, Joe, and really getting the better of play here through the first 7.5 minutes.
They certainly have. The one good chance in this game belongs to Concordia, and we've seen them play very physical defense in the middle third of the field, not allowing the Dolphins to dribble the ball through the midfield, forcing them to pass, and their back lines have been up to the task of knocking those passes down and sending them on the counterattack.
Nava, a beautiful pass into the center, looking for Fleischler. A nice defensive play by the Dolphins to knock the ball away, but it'll be out of bounds. And it looks like we might have our first corner kick of the afternoon.
And I think you're right, Mike, is try and get the number of...
No, will be a throw-in.
Yep.
As the Clippers throw the ball in, the flag is up, and the Dolphins will get possession of the ball now on it offsides. But we continue to see the Clippers doing a nice job on the Dolphins. And, really, Joe, when you think about it, the Dolphins haven't had any pressure on the offensive end thus far here this afternoon.
No, they haven't, Mike. And some forward thinking by you there, thinking to stand up and get a view of that throw-in from the corner. I tried to do it while seated. Didn't quite work out for me as the ball's lofted out toward midfield.
Ball played into the center of the field, another 50-50 ball, and this time it's Navarro. Navarro, a nice pass down the sideline, but that time getting ahead of the play was Puccio. He doesn't like to call, but he will be called for the offsides. And it will be a free kick opportunity for the Clippers, who waste no time getting on the tack once again, as it's Nava. Nava feeding the ball out over to Fleischler. That pass is going to be knocked away and played all the way down the field. And Varon will come out and play the ball for Concordia.
Well, unfortunately, our viewers can't see it, Mike, but I'm about to watch that offsides call again, if we can.
Bigsby looking to play the ball forward. Nice play that time by Angulo as he's taken down. And now the Clippers will pick up their first foul of the afternoon.
Well, I got another look at that offsides call, Mike. It was awfully close, one that could have gone either way. See if I can rewind it for you, but a very close call on that last offsides that nearly sprung the Dolphins to a goal-scoring opportunity.
Lehman with the free kick for the Dolphins. He looks to play the ball into the center of the field. Instead, it will be knocked out of bounds. It will be a throw-in for the Dolphins on the far side of the field. Navarro looking to turn and play the ball towards Lefkowitz. Instead, it's Fleischler coming all the way back to play the ball and feed the ball up over to Battaglia. Alessandro's been all over the field, Joe, for the Clippers here in this first half, and he's going to pick up the foul there as he fell on Condi and picks up the foul.
Seen him do good work defensively in the midfield, but helping get his team's attack moving forward as well off of those stellar defensive plays. It's been a strong early showing so far for Battaglia. As you mentioned, Mike, he's a big part of the reason why Concordia has had the opportunities that they've been able to gain so far.
Yeah, they've really played well as the ball played down to Lefkowitz. He looks to get a step. He's pushed down from behind. No foul called on the play. And that time, Ramondo Bigsby got away with a little bit of physical contact there. And the Dolphins now come away with possession in the back. Dolphins looking to break through that time as it was Longo, but the ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. As Lefkowitz still arguing for the foul, but it's a little contact on the play, Joe. You're not going to get a call like that.
Well, Lefkowitz was at a full sprint, and sometimes even the slightest bit of contact when you're sprinting that hard can knock you down and make it look like a much more forceful takedown than it actually was. I think that was the case there on that run by Lefkowitz as he nearly got to that ball.
As Nava looking to play the ball down the sidelines, it'll be knocked out of bounds once again, and it'll be the Dolphins to throw the ball in. And Dolphins trying to slow down the attack a little bit, Joe, and swing field position, and they've been able to do that in the last minute or two. Ball headed forward, looking for Navarro. Instead, it was Markey to play the ball forward for the Clippers. And now the Dolphins playing the ball back to Sal. Sal, the long pass looking for Lefkowitz. Lefkowitz with room. A great volley opportunity that time for Phil, but he drills it past the far post.
That's probably the best Dolphins opportunity of the game that connected with an attacker's foot. Lefkowitz nearly had a great chance before, but I'm not sure he ever got his foot on that ball. Certainly got his foot on that one, but had to shoot from a poor angle and fired it wide.
Yeah, so first opportunity for the Dolphins, and now it'll be the Clippers to play the ball into the center of the field where Perez has it. Now it's Nava. Nava in the center of the field looking to pass the ball out over on the far side. He's looking for Lamani. Instead, the ball will be cleared by the Dolphins to pass a little bit too far out of bounds, and it will be a throw-in here for the Clippers. Good entertaining start to the game, Joe. Both teams running up and down the field and creating opportunities, and neither team really playing it that close to the vest here in the early going.
No, not at all, Mike. And the Dolphins finally getting a couple of opportunities of their own after the Clippers really had the majority of the chances early on. And you like to see that if you're a fan of the Dolphins, this team seemingly making adjustments on the fly and able to manufacture some chances.
Dolphins looking to play it forward to Lefkowitz. Not Lefkowitz. Played out on the far sideline.
Puccio.
It was Puccio on the play, Joe, and Dolphins got called for their offsides. I believe that's their third of the afternoon.
And those were two awfully close calls against Puccio, and he didn't agree with either one. Impossible for us to tell from here. All we have to go by is the video replay in front of me, but unfortunately I can't share that replay with you as I follow the action on my iPad, serving as a monitor for both stats and our video.
Once again, playing the ball forward this time is Zinovic. They look to pass the ball into the center, looking for Fleischler once again, and the Dolphins forced to clear the ball out over the far sideline. and it will be the Clippers with the throw in deep inside Dolphin territory.
Nicely done there by Eric Condi. He was having none of that ball played into the center of the box, not giving the attacker on the play that was Feilscher a chance to get a foot on it.
15 minutes into the home opener, no score between the Dolphins and the Clippers as Puccio looking to push the ball down the far sideline. Instead, the ball stolen and played over toward the near sideline. Headed that time by Condi, but Fleischler able to come away with it. Nice sliding tackle by Condi, able to keep the ball over the near touchline, and it will be a throw-in for the Clippers.
Two very active sequences there from Eric Condi. He's been all over the field down around the penalty area on that Dolphins back line, and it will be Battaglia to throw in.
So a throw in here as the ball is played in toward the center of the field. That's Zinovic, but he loses possession. Heavy contact in the center of the field that time as Longo goes down hard on the play. It will be a foul on the Clippers. And the official blowing the whistle, and I think he may have a word here with Ricardo Velasquez, Joe.
Certainly looks that way as the clock was stopped. The official time remaining here at the CSI Soccer Complex is 29:11. The official time not always displayed on your screen as it is here at the College of Staten Island.
Concordia and the Dolphins still scoreless as it's Folds playing the ball in toward the center of the field. He was looking for Lefkowitz. Two Clippers there, and the ball played into the center of the field to Nava. Dolphins play the ball back into the center of midfield, and pass will go too far ahead of everybody and out of bounds. And Concordia will have possession as that time it was Ryan Lehman playing the ball a little bit too far. And, you look at this Dolphin defense, Joe, and Lehman back there with Sal. Dolphins looking to prevent goals, of course. Varon, long pass up the near sideline, and Clippers have been very successful, Joe, with those long balls, especially up the near sideline. They've been able to play up, connect on the pass, and really be able to operate in a little bit of space along this near sideline.
They certainly have, Mike, and we've seen the Dolphins come very close to connecting on a couple of those long balls as well, but the difference so far has been the Clippers have been able to get the ball onto the foot of the attacker following the long pass, and the Dolphins have not. As anticipated, Mike, we will have a water break with just under 24 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, Joe, we mentioned how hot it was here this afternoon. Temperatures in the high 80s, which likely means on the AstroTurf field, it's probably 5-7 degrees warmer, Joe.
Yeah, Mike, I do not envy the players that are out there right now, and a lot of them have gotten a lot of conditioning in so far in this game. We've seen a lot of players making some very long runs, sprinting incredible lengths. As Christian Puccio for the Dolphins, just one example, we've seen him run half the length of the field on more than one occasion trying to get open on the attack down around the box. Unfortunately, that hasn't resulted in any scoring opportunities yet. All he's gotten for his trouble so far is a pair of offsides calls against him, and we saw him take a nasty fall and land on his knee as we will have a substitution when play resumes. And I think that is number 23, Edgar Trujillo, who will be checking in for the Dolphins following this water break.
So we get our first opportunity to see the Dolphins face a Division II opponent as a Division II college, Joe. And, you can see immediately the step up in the level of competition. We're looking at a team that, was a slightly under 500 team in Division II. And, I'm looking at a team that's got size, that's got speed, that's able to play very well, and clearly is very well coached. Joe, you look at the way that they come out and they've been able to attack the ball and play very effectively here on the road in only their second game of the year.
It's been a good showing for the Clippers and a very entertaining game so far. And, Mike, I think the biggest difference I've noticed from what we're accustomed to is the speed of play. We've seen play switched very quickly from offense to defense by both sides. Long passing, as you mentioned, the Dolphins nearly connecting on a couple. The Clippers did connect on a couple and also took a couple of Dolphins turnovers that nearly proved costly and turned them into very good scoring opportunities. So a very entertaining first 20 minutes so far as play resumes with about 23:30 to go in the first half.
Yeah, neither team making any substitutions yet, Joe, as the Dolphins look to play the ball up the near sideline. The touch there by Puccio over now on the near side of the field, and now the Dolphins will play the ball back up over to Sal. Sal, long pass, looking down the far sidelines, but Velasquez there to cut it away nicely, and the Clippers convert quickly on over to the offensive side. Foul in the middle of the field. I think that was on Sal, Joe, and that's in a position where you're able to do some damage, and it'll be interesting to see the play Concordia comes up with this free kick.
Well, you said it, Mike, a dangerous position. We'll see if the Clippers can make something of this chance. They've had some good scoring opportunities so far, but haven't been able to find the back of the net yet.
As it looks like Nava will take the free kick here. Dolphins 2 players 10 yards in front of him. Players jockeying along the near post. And here we go as they play that ball up and towards the near post, but that one too high past everyone as Concordia doesn't take advantage of their opportunity, Joe.
Well, that's certainly not the chance the Clippers were looking for there, as that one sailed over everybody and out of play. Goal kick upcoming for the Dolphins here as Foldis punts it out towards midfield.
That ball is going to be played there by Puccio. Now back up over to Angulo. He looked to play that ball to Puccio, who had gotten himself off sides anyway. And now here comes the Clippers as they play that ball down the near side. Is once again, it's Lamani. Lamani looking to play the ball across and Folds there to play the ball away for the Dolphins. Lefkowitz now on the far side of the field. Comes in towards the center of the field. Knocked down on the play. And the ball's going to be played now by Bigsby. Bigsby will roll it back to Varon on goal. Now the Clippers will look to set up, but this time playing the ball short up the near sideline. Now into the center of the field where Markey plays it. And now the Clippers look to build up their attack from the far side of the field. Ball will be rolled out of bounds, and it will be the Dolphins to throw the ball in. And, Joe, only one shot on goal here through the first 24 minutes or so. Not much on the offensive end in terms of chances for either team, and just wondered when the Dolphins are going to get a little bit more on track on the offensive end.
Well, the Dolphins have been a step or two away from having a couple of chances their own, just unable to run the ball down off of the long pass. We saw Lefkowitz go down once. We saw Puccio go down once. We also saw Puccio called off sides on 2 separate occasions. So we'll see if this long ball turns into something as we have a whistle just beyond midfield.
Yes, that'll be Markey picking up the foul, disputing it with the official, though. You could see him push the guy with 2 hands from here. So I'm not sure what he was disputing on that one, but it'll be a free kick opportunity here for the Dolphins.
We try not to officiate from the scorer's table, but sometimes we just can't help ourselves, Mike.
Well, the official called that one, Joe. So a free kick coming up here for the Dolphins, as they'll have an opportunity to play the ball into the penalty area. As the Clippers bring a couple of players over, and we'll have our first substitutions of the afternoon. As that ball played it to Sal, he's ridden over the back of the defender, and we'll have a whistle and a foul on the play. Is that time Mamamehu Saujo picked up the foul in the offensive end. A nice-looking pass that time, but Sal all over the Clipper defender.
And Sal using all 6'3" of his frame on that one. He is the tallest player on this Dolphins team, and it's not any coincidence that he was up there trying to head that ball into goal. Dolphins trying to utilize his height to create a scoring chance, and they did just that. He did get his head on it, but I believe was called for the foul.
Yeah, and Sal getting right back and making a nice play on the defensive side. That turns possession back up over to the Dolphins. And played onto the foot of Condi. Condi trying to work the ball up into the midfield. Gets the ball up over to Lehman. And now the Dolphins playing it into the center of the field. onto the far side looking for Lefkowitz. Lefkowitz looking to work against Velasquez. Now turning and looking towards the end line. He has some space. Passes it into the center of the field for Navarro. He tries to turn. The pass across is going to be over the head of everyone, and it'll be a throw-in coming up here for have our first substitutions of the afternoon, Joe.
Pair of substitutions for Concordia. It will be Ardit Belegu checking in. He wears number 9, along with number 25, Elad Katz.
So pair of substitutions here for the Clippers as they will throw the ball in on their defensive side of the field. As the ball is going to be knocked away. And the Dolphins with possession of the ball. As Edgar Trujillo is checked into the game, Joe, for the Dolphins. Don't remember seeing him come over to the scorer's table.
He did during the water break, Mike.
Oh,
he
okay,
came
must
over
have missed it. My fault.
Trujillo came over during the water break. He replaced Bryant Navarro during that first water break with about 25 minutes to go in the half.
Vendra playing the ball back now, up over to Sal. Now folds in goal, and he'll roll it on the near side now to Lehman. Long pass looking for Condi, but cut out nicely that time by Markey. But that time, Battaglia not able to get back to the ball, and the Dolphins will have the throw in. Condi throwing the ball in, getting it up over to Puccio. Dolphins trying to get into the box. But once again, good defensive play that time. Prevents the Dolphins from doing any further damage as the ball's going to be knocked out of bounds over the far sideline. And the Dolphins will throw the ball in once again. Navarro getting the ball up over to Vendra. And the ball will be knocked out of bounds. It'll be another throw in here for the Dolphins. Velasquez looking to knock the ball away, but he knocks it out of bounds. And it'll be another throw-in opportunity here for the Dolphins as they work their way up the far sideline. Long throw-in that time by Lefkowitz, but a nice defensive play by Bigsby to knock the ball away. Concordia looking to counterattack. A nice job by So that time, stepping up, Joe, to break the momentum of the Concordia counter.
And promptly commits a foul that might draw a card.
Official going into his pocket there, and there will be a card issued on the play.
Going back to that throw-in by Lefkowitz for just a moment, if there's like a foot or two more on that throw-in, that's an excellent scoring chance for the Dolphins. I believe it was Patrick Longo who was in the middle of the field free, but the next closest Dolphin to the play didn't catch who it was next to Longo. The throw-in was nearest to him, and it was knocked away by the back line of the Clippers. But another dangerous moment there for Concordia. Momentum has really shifted in the Dolphins' favor later in this first half.
That's Belegu on the near sideline, and the ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. And this time the Dolphins will give away a corner kick. 15:35 remaining here in this first half. It'll be Dennis Lamani, the junior from Nordstadt, Germany, to take the free kick. Left-footed free kick coming up here. Nice weapon to have. Nice bending ball into the far post and headed off the goal line by the Dolphins. That was a beautiful corner kick and a beautiful play that time by Alexis Navarro, Joe, to knock it off the goal line.
I'm not sure if that would have found the back of the net, but it was certainly crossing toward that far post. And Moran Navarro did a good job there, knocking that one out of play. The Dolphins do surrender another corner kick, but they'll hope it doesn't go anything like that last one where the Clippers had a great scoring chance.
So let's see what Lamani does here as he'll take the next corner. And
I think they move Condi back, Mike.
And this time they take a short corner. They feed it back to Lamani. And this time he feeds it across to the far post. Better defense that time by the Dolphins, but the ball gets knocked out of bounds once again. And we'll have our third consecutive coming up here for the Clippers. Clippers now credited with 2 shots on goal officially. Each of these corner kicks, Joe, very dangerous, and Clippers have shown a nice touch on their first couple of corners here this afternoon.
That time rejected.
Yeah, that time it was Lefkowitz, and Lamani came all the way across the field to take the corner again as Lefkowitz knocks it out of bounds, and we'll have 4 consecutive corner kicks here for the Clippers. Lamani playing it in toward the near post and trying to bicycle kick that one is Zinovic, Joe, but he knocks it over the crossbar, and now the Dolphins will have the free kick.
Well, Zivanic going for glory there with the bicycle kick, and if you connect on that one, that's on the highlight reel for seasons to come if you're Concordia, but it sailed well high and above the crossbar. Dolphins now look to cross midfield on the attack.
Vendra in midfield. As it's looked to be kept in bounds that time by Longo, unable to do so. And it will be Concordia with the throw-in.
It's a shame Longo wasn't sporting that mustache at Media Day, Mike. That is one serious mustache for Longo.
Markey with the ball. They play the ball forward, looking for the long pass, looking that time to get it on the foot of Fleischler. And he had a step, Joe, but a nice play that time by Foltz to come out and hold on to the ball, Joe, and give the Dolphins possession. They give it away momentarily, but able to come away with possession now and play it out onto the far side of the field to Lefkowitz. Lefkowitz, nice move in between 3 defenders, feeding it to Angulo. Angulo looking to play the ball forward, and a nice-looking pass that time. But Trujillo not able to get a foot on it. Long pass now, so forced to head the ball back towards goal. The Clippers could do some damage.
Sau has to be careful. He already has a yellow card. And another aggressive tackle attempt there. He's called for the foul, but no card issued in this spot, as the Clippers will attempt this free kick with just inside of 10 minutes to play in half number 1, as we have a conference going on around the official. Not sure which Dolphin that is standing right in the middle of it, but it's 3 Clippers and a Dolphin.
So it'll be a free kick opportunity here, as it looks like Adrit Beglu will take the free kick. Sophomore from Pehe, Kosovo. A lot of international players on this Clipper team. And here comes the free kick opportunity, as that ball is going to be played towards goal and knocked wide past the far post. And, a couple of opportunities here, Joe, in the first half where the Clippers haven't had made the most out of their set pieces. Substitutions on the play as Michael Lynn checks in, 6'7", and Alvaro Blasquez also checking in for the Clippers. So on this hot, humid afternoon, Joe, both teams making a couple of substitutions.
That's been no surprise, Mike, as we wind down inside of 9 minutes to play in the first half. And Carlos Montesinos will head over to the scorer's table for the Dolphins as Foldis takes this goal kick.
So a free kick played in toward the center of the field. Clippers come away with it momentarily, but now the Dolphins looking to play the ball up. Puccio putting pressure on the defense once again, but Varon able to come away with the defensive play for the Clippers. Beglu in the center of the field. Rolling the ball back now. As the Clippers try a back heel on the pass, it'll go out of bounds. And it will be a throw-in opportunity coming up here for Concordia. 7:44 remaining here in this first half, still scoreless, as Bigsby looking to play that ball deep toward the Dolphin line. Instead, it's Foles coming off his line quickly, able to make a play on the ball, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the play as Foles a little shaken up on the play. Free kick upcoming here for the Dolphins as Folds to take that free kick and play the ball in toward the center of the field. Knocked forward by Angulo. Angulo looking to play to Lefkowitz. Instead, it's Markey able to roll the ball back towards goal, and it'll be knocked out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in opportunity here for the Dolphins with 6 minutes, 45 seconds remaining here in this first half, as we'll have a substitution for the Dolphins as Carlos Montesinos will check into the game for the Dolphins. He will replace Daniel Angulo. So Angulo checking out of the game for the Dolphins. Angulo, one of 3 freshmen in the lineup for the Dolphins here this afternoon, as we're going to have a whistle and a hard foul on the play. And it looks like the Dolphins are going to pick up their second yellow card of this first half.
It looks like Trujillo is down holding his knee as yellow card, I believe, was just issued. Trujillo asking for a sub as the clock will be stopped just inside of 6 minutes.
So Brentley Salas will check into the game for the Dolphins as he will replace Trujillo. With 5 minutes and 59 seconds remaining here in the first half. And, you know, Joe, we mentioned during the pregame their first Division II opponent as a Division II school, and a pretty entertaining first 39 minutes of soccer so far.
It has been, Mike, and you mentioned the shortage of chances. A lot of those came very early on in this first half. We haven't seen much of that since, but some good physical back-and-forth play, much like that Ramapo game, the last game that I saw here at the CSI Soccer Complex with this men's team taking the pitch for that one. Of course, an exhibition, a 1-1 tie in that game, but this game has been hotly contested to this point, a very back-and-forth game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a similar result. We'll see if either of these two teams can break through, but neither side has come too close thus far outside of, like I said, Mike, before, one early chance for Concordia where it was a very stellar scoring opportunity, unable to break through and tuck it inside the far post, as now John Tardy will exit the bench and check on his player as Trujillo picks up the yellow card and is down injured on the play. So we will see how long the situation takes to resolve. If Trujillo can walk off on his own power, we certainly hope so, but you never want to see any player go down. And Trujillo, one of the players new to this Dolphins roster this year, and he will indeed be helped off of the field. And it's good to see also one of his opponents helping him off the field as well, alongside John Tardy, as he's unable to put any pressure on that left leg.
Yeah, that doesn't look like a good injury here on the players. You know, that time Trujillo came in, and he came in a little hard and a little late and got called for the foul, but clearly has ended up being getting the worst of that exchange, Joe.
Well, credit to Romardo Bigsby for helping Trujillo off the field. A good show of sportsmanship there, and you always like to see that at any point during the game, whether it be during or after.
So Trujillo will come over to the bench. We mentioned before Brentley Salas in for Trujillo, and we're underway now with 5 minutes, 50 seconds remaining here in the first half. As the ball played back now over to Markey. Touch forward that time by Katz, but able to be played away now by the Dolphins, as that's Puccio. Puccio playing it over to Lefkowitz. Lefkowitz looked to get the ball back, but instead it's Markey there to play the ball away for the Clippers. His pass looking for Velasquez just a little bit too far ahead, and the Dolphins come away with the throw-in. Dolphins still looking for their first shot on goal this afternoon. Concordia doing a very nice job defensively against a very dangerous CSI team. They've had the best couple of chances here in the first half, as now it's Markey playing the ball in the center of the field. Puccio trying to put a little pressure on him as he feeds it up over to Perez. Now Bigsby up over to Battaglia as he'll throw the ball in. We mentioned his name all half long, is fight for possession of the ball. Nice play that time by Salas, able to knock it away momentarily, but it's Beliglu able to play the ball away. Long pass into the center of the field. Looking that time for Michael Lynn, and he sure is easy to see, Joe. It's 6'7" for the Clippers.
Not often you see soccer players that tall. Many of them would be better suited to a basketball roster.
Long pass down the far side of the field. A beautiful feed in front, and the shot in the goal. Beautiful play that time, Joe, for the College of Staten Island as they are able to get on the board first, and they lead by a score of 1-0.
And what a ball to set up that goal by Carlos Montesinos, right on the money from the far sideline. It gets by the goalkeeper, Varon, on the play. As we're getting another look at it on my iPad right now, I'm sure we'll have that replay on our screen for you in just a few moments. But that ball could not have been placed more accurately than it was right there. And Montesinos set up for the easy tap-in on the ball from Philip Lefkowitz. And Lefkowitz has proven time and time again to be a great dribbler, a great passer, a goal scorer. Right there, we saw his passing skills on full display.
Yeah, you know, Joe, we mentioned 16 assists last year, second in the country. And he gets his first assist here this afternoon as Montesinos picks up the goal for the Dolphins. And, you know, Montesinos really just checking into the game and picking up a quick goal. And, you know, he had a big year for the Dolphins and steps up, gets the late goal in the first half, and gives the Dolphins a big 1-0 lead.
It should be noted, Mike, the impact of fresh legs as well. Montesinos just checking in right after the injury to Trujillo. Salas replaced Trujillo, but shortly before that, Montesinos checked into the game, and those fresh legs immediately paying dividends for the College of Staten Island as they take a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and, you know, you mentioned earlier, Joe, the Dolphins probing and getting close as they feed the ball into the center of the field. As that time, I believe it was Puccio going down on the play. Now it's Condi. Condi with some space. Condi now working the ball out over to the near sideline. Salas rolling the ball into the center of the field. Puccio now getting the ball up over to Longo. Now coming away with it and putting the shot towards goal is Puccio, but that'll be out of bounds. And it will be a free kick here inside of 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining here in the first half. The Dolphins with the big goal by Montesinos to take a 1-0 lead. Pass down into the center of the field, but that time it was the Clippers that got ahead of the play and offsides. And, you know, Joe, we mentioned a couple of times here during the course of this game that, you know, the Clippers were able to get the better opportunities, but the Dolphins kept probing, and you gave Montesinos just a little bit too much space, and once he got behind the defender, plenty of room for him to put the ball in the net.
Absolutely, Mike. And we mentioned the passing prowess of Lefkowitz on the play. Great run by Montesinos as well to put himself in position to score that goal. But like I said, the impact of fresh legs there paying off for the College of Staten Island. Montesinos having just checked in. But we've seen this Dolphins team, a very deep team. We spoke about it during the pregame. Didn't graduate any players, brought on a lot of very talented players, and didn't lose many players that were on the team last year. Of course, as I said, none graduated, but most of the players on the roster last year returned to the College of Staten Island this year with maybe 2 or 3 exceptions. So this Dolphins team, very formidable staff.
First half.
And once again, Dolphins freshman defenseman Mohamed Sow getting active, this time on a corner kick. But the Dolphins have been looking to play the ball onto his head down around the penalty area. And once again, Sow getting his head on it using that 6'3" frame to create a shot opportunity. But that may be the last opportunity of this first half as the clock winds down towards 0.
Yeah, it will be as Battaglia will run down the ball. But that's going to do it. 45 minutes in the books. A good first half. Dolphins taking advantage of a big scoring opportunity as Montesinos breaks in off of the beautiful feed from the far side by Phil Lefkowitz, and Dolphins will go into halftime, Joe, with a 1-0 lead.
And that was a very entertaining first half, Mike. The College of Staten Island finally breaking through with a goal late, breaking the scoreless tie. They'll take a 1-0 lead into halftime as the College of Staten Island will look to continue carrying the positive momentum from their last game against Rowan through the end of this game against their first Division II opponent, Concordia College.
So CSI goes into halftime with a 1-0 lead. Why don't we step aside, take a break, our first break of the afternoon. We're here covering CSI men's soccer coverage as the Dolphins go into halftime with a 1-0 lead. Stay tuned. We'll be right back to bring you halftime statistics and get you ready for the start of the second half.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk,
Yeah, he wasn't added to the roster. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I wanted to see if was he on like CSI. Yeah, no, you did the right thing. Yeah.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels. I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Hobra, a taco joint. Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
We're back here at halftime where the College of Staten Island leads by a score of 1-0 as both teams getting ready to take the field here for the second half. But, Joe, a very entertaining first half of soccer and a big goal by Carlos Montesinos in the 41st minute to give the Dolphins a 1-0 lead.
Certainly was a very entertaining first half, Mike. The shots even for both sides at 4 in that first half, but it was the College of Staten Island cashing in on their best scoring opportunity of the half. A beautiful ball from Philip Lefkowitz, as I was thrown off by that horn just a bit. Lefkowitz to Montesinos, and Montesinos making a run, receiving the ball right on his foot directly in front of the goal. That ball passed Mikhail Varin, and Montesinos put it into the back of the net with just under 4 minutes to play in half number 1. That goal gave the Dolphins a win lead, and that's where we stand right now. College of Staten Island 1, Concordia College 0 with 45 minutes to play.
And, Joe, looking quickly at the stats, both teams 4 shots apiece. Concordia with 4 corner kicks, Joe, 4 consecutive corner kicks, and 1 save apiece for Fold and Varin in that first half. Good, entertaining first half for soccer, Joe. What do you expect here in half number 2?
I think we're going to see Concordia trying to keep putting the pressure on this Dolphins defense. We've seen them trying to connect on the long ball and make that big play happen. They came close early in the game, had a great opportunity early on, but from that point forward, the Dolphins adjusted, seemed ready for that long ball, and defended on the back line very well. So Concordia, at least early in the second half, I'm sure will continue with that approach, as the Dolphins will take a 1-0 lead into half number 2. From them, I think we'll see more of the same attacking play to open up the second half.
So here we go. The Dolphins will have the first touch here of this second half, as that's Albanese playing the ball here for the Dolphins, and we'll have a whistle, in the first foul of the second half will be against Concordia, as Albanese coming into the game here in the second half. And you know, Albany's part of a very stout defense for the Dolphins in 2019 as he makes his first appearance here to start the second half. Clippers trying to play the ball forward, and now it's going to roll back onto the foot of Perez. Perez gets the ball up over to Katz, and it's going to be Lamani with the ball for the Clippers. Lamani rolling the ball back, looking for Markey, as he'll pass the ball back out over to Bigsby. Bigsby rolling the ball in toward the center of the field as Concordia with a little bit of space. Battaglia has the ball knocked away. He's able to gather his own rebound and drill the ball into the back of the net. And just like that, the Clippers in this 47th minute are able to come back and tie this game up at 1 apiece. Alessandro Battaglia, who's been all over the field here this afternoon for the Clippers, as the ball was knocked away momentarily by the Dolphin defense. He stayed right on it and essentially was able to come in one-on-one against Fold, put it into the back of the net, and just like that, we're tied at 1. Dolphins with possession of the ball now, as that'll be Albanese. Albanese getting the ball back up over to Sal, and now the Dolphins will roll the ball back and get ready to try to regroup after allowing that quick goal to start the second half, as Lehman's pass over toward the near sideline goes off a Dolphin player and out of bounds, and it'll be the Clippers with the ball once again. Beligru with the ball. He feeds the ball up over to Zinovic. Zinovic coming and turning. He kind of fanned on the shot and rolls it past the far post, but a continuation of the pressure that the Clippers have been able to put on here to start this second half. Folds will take the free kick here. 2 minutes into this second half, it's been all Clippers. They've come back and tied up the game and have continued to put pressure on the Dolphins since getting that tying goal. Nava with the ball, rolling it back to Bigsby. Bigsby feeding the ball down along the far sideline. Battaglia once again looking to play the ball in, but the Dolphins able to come away with the ball defensively and now play the ball in towards midfield. Montesinos plays the ball down and now rolls the ball out over toward the far sidelines as the Dolphins will look to build up their attack, as that ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Bigsby, so it will be a throw-in for the Dolphins. Longo with the ball. Longo trying to get past a couple of defenders. He's taken down on the play, and this will be a foul on the Clippers and a good opportunity for the Dolphins. Maybe their closest free kick here of the afternoon. So it looks like Lefkowitz will come over and play the free kick here for the Dolphins. As the Dolphins line up most of their players along the near post, Longo standing out by the far post by himself. And we'll see what the Dolphins look to do. Lefkowitz shielding his eyes from the sun and now putting the ball right into the center of the goal. Sal collides with Varon on the play. Nothing called. And now Battaglia looking to counterattack. Nice defensive play by Longo to break up Battaglia's counter. Now the Dolphins looking to play the ball down onto the near side. So going to fight for possession of the ball with Markey, and it'll be the Dolphins to throw the ball in. 4 minutes into the second half, tied at 1. As Sal with the ball. Sal looking to get it to Pucci. It's played up in the air. As both teams fighting for possession of the ball, it'll be played back now and played down by the Dolphins. As that's Albanese able to play it momentarily. Now out towards center. Condi colliding on the play. Nothing called. And now Concordia looking to break out once again. Nava onto Zinovic. Zinovic past the defender, brings it in, spins, and puts it in. So just like that, Joe, 5 minutes into the second half, back-to-back goals by the Clippers, and they take a 2-1 lead.
Not the start the Dolphins were looking for here in the second half. I mentioned it coming out of the halftime break that Concordia would likely look to keep the pressure on to open up the second half. They did have some good chances early in half number one, and it seems like the halftime break may have benefited the Clippers a bit as they've come out strong and continuing with their aggressive play on the attack early in the second half. It's paid off with a pair of quality chances that both resulted in goals. That one may have been slightly misplayed by Jake Foldis, but he was decisive coming off his line, going after that ball. Unfortunately, he was beaten to the spot, and it was Zivanic who was able to put that one into the back of the net and give the Clippers a 2-1 lead.
So Battaglia had just one goal last year, Joe, and he picks up his first in the 47th minute to tie the game up. And then a nice second goal by Zinovic, and just like that, it's 2-1 Concordia. Free kick coming up here for the Clippers. Nava, Battaglia once again. As it's been all Clippers here so far in the second half. As Zinovich with the ball once again. But the Dolphins able to come back defensively and make the play, but they knock it out of bounds, and it will be a throw-in coming up for the Dolphins. A couple of substitutions going to come in for the Dolphins at the next opportunity. As Lefkowitz trying to put pressure on the pass back that time to Markey, but Markey able to come away with it. And now Lefkowitz looking to start the Dolphin attack once again. A long pass. Ball played ahead of everybody. It's going to be knocked out of bounds. And now it'll be an opportunity for the Dolphins as they'll get their second corner kick of the afternoon, Joe.
And before that corner kick is taken, we will have a pair of Dolphin substitutions. Daniel Angulo and Joe Balella checking in, replacing number 9, Chris Vendra, and number 2, Brenny Salas. And you mentioned the corner kick upcoming, Mike. And at halftime, you also referenced the lead in corner kicks for Concordia in this game, 4-1. Entering the halftime break, it will now be a 5-1, or I should say a 4-2 advantage with the Dolphins taking this corner.
So it'll be Lefkowitz to take the corner. He puts the ball right into the center of the goal area, past everybody, and that ball's going to be knocked towards the goal line where Lefkowitz is there to play it. It'll be knocked out of bounds, and that time the Clippers give away a corner kick probably a little bit too easily on the play, Joe. Let's see if the Dolphins can make them pay. 38 minutes, 8 seconds remaining here in this second half. Dolphins go into halftime with a 1-0 lead, but give up 2 goals here in the first 5 minutes of half number 2, and they trail by a score of 2-1. We have the official blow the whistle out on the field as separating a couple of players, and here we go now with the corner kick. Played nicely into the center, an opportunity there for the Dolphins maybe to get ahead on the ball, unable to do so, and Albity's pass will be knocked away and played forward now up over to Zinovic. Zinovic numbers here, getting the ball up over to Lamani, and a nice defensive play that time by Condi to come back and break up the dangerous-looking Clipper rush.
With the end of that rush, I have a scoring update from Ramapo. The Dolphins did score a pair of goals in that game. Unfortunately, Ramapo added 3 more goals of their own. With 15 minutes to play, our score at Ramapo, CSI 2 and the Roadrunners 5. Again, 15 minutes to play in that game. Goals scored in the game. I'll have those in just a moment for both sides, but the Dolphins trailing 5-2 at Ramapo. It was Masada Palinkovic scoring the first Dolphins goal, Samantha Laval scoring the second.
And, you know, Joe, the Lady Dolphin soccer team, playing very tough competition here early in the season. And, you know, they'll be tested early, but they'll be the better for it as they go through this 2019 season.
Certainly will, and a very strong showing in their first game, as we mentioned earlier during our pregame. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like they'll be on the winning side today, trailing by 3 goals with 15 minutes left. But they didn't roll over in this game, trailed by 2 goals at halftime, kept it within 2, scoring a couple of goals in the second half. The closest that they were in the second half was 3-1, so they were never able to get closer than 2 in that game, but didn't give up and roll over in that one. And looks like, as I said, they'll be on the losing end, but not a poor start to the season by any means.
Albanese playing the ball up over to Puccio. Puccio tried to touch it to Montesinos, but the pass goes awry, and the Clippers come away with possession. Katz playing the ball out onto the far sideline as the Clippers roll the ball into the center of the field where Christian Perez is there to play it. Perez, long ball down up over to Lamani. Lamani, nice pass over to the overlapping Sana, but unable to play the ball. It goes out of bounds, and it will be a throw-in here for the Dolphins. Longo's pass looking for Lefkowitz, but no connection there, and it'll be Sana to come up and throw the ball in as he gets it into Perez quickly. Zinovic with the go-ahead goal, feeding the ball up over to Lynn. Lynn losing possession. And that ball's going to be knocked off of the head of Dennis Lamani, and it will be a throw-in for the Dolphins. 10 minutes into half number 2, and the Dolphins trailing by a score of 2-1. Angulo, Dolphins working the ball across now onto the far side of the field. As the ball's going to be knocked forward, and a couple of Dolphins there, but the ball played away by the Clippers, as that's Perez looking to feed the ball forward, but Sal comes away in possession for the Dolphins. Sal, surrounded by 2 Clippers, loses possession of the ball. And, you know, Joe, that's something we've seen all game long. The Clippers doing a great job getting more than one defender to the ball when the Dolphins have possession.
They have, Mike, and they've done a great job defensively in the midfield, as we've referenced many times already. The Dolphins have had a lot of their chances down around the penalty area. Once they break through that midfield defense of the Clippers, there's been open field to work with in the attacking third, and we saw the Dolphins make the most of that once Lefkowitz beat his marker earlier and put the ball right on the foot of Montesinos. A tremendous pass to set up that goal, but the Dolphins have made the most of their space in the attacking third. Unfortunately, they haven't spent much time there.
Long ball that time by the Clippers, looking for Lamani, but Folds is there to play the ball away. And the Dolphins there to play the ball in towards the center of the field, but that pass too far ahead of everyone, and Varon will be there to play it for the Clippers. Dolphins will look to get Bryant Navarro into the game at the next opportunity. As it's a free kick opportunity here coming up for Varon, who takes his time and puts the ball out into the center of the field. 50-50 ball played into midfield, and spinning away with the ball will be the Clippers as Lynn looking for Zinovich. Now it goes over to the far side of the field. Here comes Lynn right in towards goal, able to volley it toward the net, but that shot goes just up over the crossbar. Nice looking play with the Clippers. Dolphins fortunate, Joe, that one goes just over the crossbar.
Nice job there by the Clippers, creating yet another chance. So far in half number 2, it has been all Concordia. And right there, Michael Lynn almost made it a 2-goal advantage for the Clippers with that volley. That ball right on the money, much like the pass from Lefkowitz to Montesinos for the Dolphins earlier. That one contacted the foot of Lynn out of the air, but he was high on the volley attempt, and we remain locked in a 2-1 game.
Navarro, who just checked into the game, puts pressure on that Clipper defense immediately. Bigsby knocking the ball out of bounds up over the near sideline, so it'll be a throw-in here for the Dolphins. Angulo plays the ball forward. Now it's Lefkowitz. Lefkowitz playing the ball right in front. Big opportunity there for the Dolphins. Nice defensive play by the Clippers. Lefkowitz. Angulo gets the ball to Navarro, and Navarro gets called for the shove, and it will be a foul on Bryant, and a free kick coming up here for the Clippers.
And another ball from Lefkowitz right on the money. Once again, found Montesinos in front, but this time the Clippers having none of it. They broke up that pass. They were glued to Montesinos. He made his run down the center of the pitch, was right in the middle of the goal, perhaps a bit closer to the near post, but he never got a foot on that one as it was broken up on the back line by Concordia, denying the Dolphins the shot opportunity.
Albanese does a nice job to step up and knock that ball away. It'll be knocked out of bounds, and now Joe will come up to throw the ball in. Albanese looking for Lefkowitz. Lefkowitz able to get his way past one defender, but not Markey, as he knocks it out of bounds. And, you know, Joe, the Clippers with that big 1-goal lead, they're not going to hesitate now to play the ball out to the sidelines with any kind of danger from the Dolphins.
Well, judging by that last chance they had, they're keeping their foot on the gas.
Montesinos gets that one in front. Nice defensive play by Battaglia. He's all over the field, Joe, on both the offense and defensive ends. Longo heading that one up in the air. Navarro bumping on the play that time with Santa. And the Clippers able to knock it away, but not clear it out, as the Dolphins able to keep the pressure on momentarily. But now Katz able to play it out to the far sideline. Katz rolling the ball back now to Bigsby. Bigsby playing the ball up to the center of the field, and there's Zinovich once again in some space. Zinovich playing the ball back, and now the Clippers will switch fields and bring it all the way on to the near side. And we're going to have Lamani get called for the offsides. He can't believe it, Joe.
We've seen disbelief on both sides when the whistle has been blown for offsides calls. And this time the Dolphins, the beneficiaries of the call, as they take the free kick. Now Montesino's looking to play it ahead.
So the ball will be played now down on the far sidelines as the Dolphins look to play that ball into the center of the field. But once again, Bigsby there to cut the ball away for Concordia. Dolphins looking to get on track offensively here in the second half. Is a nice defensive play that time by Perez. And here comes a big counterattack as the ball is played to Lamani on the near side. Sal getting over to cover him and the pass into the center of the field. And that one not as well done as could be, Joe. And a nice defensive play by the Dolphins to cut that one away.
No, it wasn't, Mike, but the Dolphins didn't make it easy for the Clippers there. They got back defensively, cut off the passing lane nicely. Pass could have been better, but that's one of the few mistakes we've seen in that area of the field by the Clippers so far.
That time, nice play by Markey. He shields Lefkowitz off the ball, and Montesino's down on the field now for the Dolphins, Joe. He was a late substitute in the first half, came in, got that first goal for the Dolphins, and he appears to be okay. A hot day here this afternoon, Joe, early in the season, and you can expect players to cramp up a little bit, especially here in the second half.
And it's Christopher Tenempagwe replacing Carlos Montesinos.
So Tenempagwe into the game, another freshman player on this CSI Dolphin team. 28 minutes, 56 seconds remaining here in half number 2. Dolphins trailing by a score of 2-1. Dolphins coming into this game with a record of 1-1. Having split a couple of road games early in the year, losing to Rutgers Camden 2-0 and beating Rowan 2-1. And that's the score they trail by here this afternoon as it's Zinovich playing the ball down. And we're going to have a whistle on the play. And I think that's going to be a handball on the Dolphins, and that's going to give Concordia a golden opportunity here on a free kick. Pretty much in the center of the field. So we'll see how the Clippers choose to play this and how the Dolphins choose to defend it. This is certainly an opportunity to put the ball on goal, as it looks like Dennis Lamani, the 5'10 junior, lining up over the ball. We have 5 Dolphins in the wall as that ball is shot toward the net, but well over the top. And opportunity there for the Clippers, who have had a couple of opportunities on some set pieces and haven't really maximized their opportunities on them so far here this afternoon. As that ball's played into the center of the field and comes down onto the foot of Navarro. Navarro can't maintain possession as that ball's going to be knocked out of bounds by Sana, and that will be a throw-in opportunity here for the Dolphins. Throw-in looking for Lefkowitz. A nice job stepping up that time by Lucas Sana once again to knock that ball out of bounds. And Sana's come in and made his presence felt on the defensive end here for the Clippers as that ball played over the line, and the Dolphins give the ball away, and that will lead to a throw-in. That time Lamani getting a little bit too far ahead on the throw-in, and the official will make the Clippers throw the ball in once again. Just under 27 minutes remaining here at half number 2. Dolphins trailing by a score of 2-1, and they roll the ball back to Vaughn on goal. Sal rolling the ball back now as Folds is there to play it. Folds under a little pressure from Lynn, and he'll play the ball up the far sideline. 50-50 ball. Navarro fighting for possession, but instead it'll be Markey able to play the ball ahead for the Clippers, and they get the ball up to Nava. Nava's pass is going to be knocked off of Condi and out of bounds, and that will lead to a throw-in here for the Clippers. Zinovic. Zinovic spinning toward the goal line, taken down hard by Sal. Nice defensive play that time by Sal, and the Dolphins will come away with possession of the ball. Dolphins looking to break away clean. And, Joe, one thing that the Clippers have done successfully most of the day is prevent the Dolphins from putting a string of passes together, really from anywhere on the field.
It's been a good showing defensively for Concordia as Lefkowitz has an opportunity here to put another ball toward the center of the field.
Big opportunity here for Philly. Breaks towards goal, rolls it in front. What a golden opportunity, but that ball knocked over the crossbar. Big opportunity, beautiful pass from Lefkowitz, but the Dolphins just can't complete the play, Joe.
And I think that was Angulo who connected on that shot. He got everything on that one, but it was a bit too high, just over the crossbar. And that's as good of an opportunity as the Dolphins could have asked for in that spot. And we do have an injury down at the other end. So CSI was playing with a one-man advantage right there as we had an injury down at the other end of the field in the corner. And that player remains down. Don't have a number, but I think that is Nemanja Zivanovic.
Yeah, Zivanovic, the player with the go-ahead goal here for the Clippers here in the second half. And, Joe, what another beautiful play by Lefkowitz. He kept the ball in play, brought it in toward the goal line, able to cut in on the defender, get his shoulders squared up, play the ball right in front, but Angulo just chipping the ball over the crossbar, and big opportunity missed there for the Dolphins, but another great play by Lefkowitz.
Yeah, Lefkowitz passing continues to be on full display. And we've seen the speed with which he moves the ball up the sidelines. He's able to burn just about any defender challenging him, get into the open field, and give himself plenty of space to make those passes. And that's why those passes tend to be right on the money. It's all of the space he has and field to work with when he attempts to make those passes. And we saw that was the case once again right there, creating the opportunity for Angulo, as with 25 minutes to play in the game, we will have another water break. So a break in the action. And Mike, before coming out of the water break, we saw a brief uptick in the pace of play, and curious to see if that will be the case once again.
Yeah, Joe, the Dolphins started out a little slow offensively in the first half, and were able to come up with that late goal. And, they had their best opportunity, as you mentioned, by far in that second half off of that Lefkowitz feed. And, they're going to need to build up the remaining 25 minutes.
They will, Mike, and Dolphins will need at least one more in this game to force overtime. But if you're the College of Staten Island right now, you need to continue to do what you've been doing on the attack. It's been a good showing for CSI so far in this game. We mentioned the shots at halftime were even. I'll get an up-to-the-moment tally for you right now on the shots as I refresh our live stats application. But going back to the topic of the Dolphins' attack, it's been stellar so far in this game. It's been a good showing for them, as I just mentioned, especially Philip Lefkowitz. We've seen the team make several good runs throughout the game, some very good passes from not only Lefkowitz, but other players out on the pitch as well. And we've seen the depth of this Dolphins team on full display so far in this game on top of that. When the Dolphins have made substitutions, we haven't seen them slow down on the attack or defensively for that matter. It's been a busy day for that back line as well.
Yeah, and, Joe, we look out onto the field here for the Dolphins, and, you mentioned just over 25 minutes remaining here in this second half, and I'm just looking to see if I could see any new players coming out onto the pitch for the Dolphins here. I don't, and I see Navarro out on the field again along with Lefkowitz, and, the Dolphins will look to put pressure on the Clippers here, but Clippers have done a really good job, Joe, all afternoon of going to defense to offense quickly. So Dolphins are going to look to pitch up the attack and, also be careful of the counter as we're going to start the final 25 minutes with a free kick coming up here from Barron.
And for all of the good passing we've seen from both teams, the goals seemingly came out of nowhere. Very quick developing plays, one or two passes at most, and the ball was in the back of the net before we could even get a full grasp on what happened. Lefkowitz charging up the sideline, creating a goal for the Dolphins. Another goal off of a rebound of a blocked shot for the Clippers. And some very quick scoring chances developing throughout this game, especially in the second half for the Clippers.
Beautiful pass by Lefkowitz once again, and Phil giving the Dolphins opportunities to run on the ball, but so far Concordia has been there and able to knock the ball away defensively.
It's been good work by the Clippers all game long, but there have been instances, as we've mentioned, where Lefkowitz has been able to exploit them and find openings. It's typically been him beating his marker, giving himself the open field to operate in, and then putting a pass right on target, giving the Dolphins scoring opportunities. One of those turned into a goal, and that last shot by Angulo that went high very well could have been the equalizer.
Yeah, so the Dolphins looking to put pressure on, but instead it's going to be Bigsby looking to break up the far sideline. Rare time he's looked to maybe overlap and counterattack, and Dolphins there to knock the ball away. And they will have an opportunity here to get the throw in. As the Dolphins look to play the ball up the far side of the field. And now we'll look to play the ball into Sow into the middle of the field as he'll play the ball back up over to Folds. As Dolphins playing the ball backwards here, and now we'll look to start their attack. Sow up the near side. See Concordia starting to get a little more defensive-minded, Joe, dropping a little bit more plays back. Sow with a little bit of space in the back so that the Clippers could defend a little bit. And here comes Lamani flying up the near sideline. That shot on goal just up over the top.
Good shot there by Lamani, showing why he's the leading goal scorer on this team for returning players from last year. We mentioned during the pregame the 6 goals he had last year, and you can see how he was able to score some of those right there. A strong shot from a very tough angle. That one just high over the crossbar. But you've said it several times, Mike, defense to offense very quickly for this Clippers team, and that was the case once again right there.
Longo playing the ball out onto the far sideline as the Dolphins look to build up the attack once again. That pass out up over to Navarro as he turns and spins his pass not far enough for Lefkowitz, and the ball cut out nicely that time by Sana. Sana looking to work against Lefkowitz. Lefkowitz able to come away with the ball, get it to Albanese. Nice move by Sal to turn defense into offense now for the Dolphins. Lefkowitz plowed down on the play, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul, and we could have a yellow card on the play. We will, as that will be on Markey, as he will pick up the first yellow card of the afternoon for Concordia.
And I think that's a response to how dangerous Lefkowitz has been in that area of the field. They knew they simply couldn't afford to let Phil Lefkowitz get that ball on his foot. Instead, Dolphins are awarded a free kick to be taken by Lefkowitz.
Yeah, so a free kick opportunity here as Lefkowitz will take it. Clock is stopped now with 21 minutes, 53 seconds remaining here in this second half. Dolphins trailing by a score of 2-1. And let's see what kind of set piece the Dolphins come up with here, Joe. Lefkowitz, the official blows his whistle, plays it right into the center of the box, and Markey is there to head it away. Now Lefkowitz getting the ball back from Albanese. Now Albanese playing it into the center. Bigsby played it off of the head of Navarro. Coming in is Lefkowitz, and another nice play by Lefkowitz, Joe, forcing a corner kick on the play. It looked like that ball was just going to knock out of bounds, but Lefkowitz came in, put the pressure on Bigsby, and forced the corner kick.
Well, good job by Lefkowitz staying with that play. The ball hit Navarro right in the face. Looked like it was destined to travel out of play, but Lefkowitz continued to give chase and earn the corner.
So here comes Lefkowitz. This one all the way across, all the way to the far post, past everyone, but the Dolphins able to come away with possession. Nice spin, trying to keep the ball in play. Navarro losing his footing, able to chip the ball forward, and the shot and the save by Varon. Good opportunity that time by the Dolphins, Joe. That was Boella with the shot on goal, and a nice pass by Varon to make the save.
Great passing there by the Dolphins. Quick touches around the top of the box to move that ball across the top of the penalty area, ultimately onto the foot of Joe Boella, who was able to square up and get a quality shot on goal. But unfortunately for the Dolphins, it was right at Varon in the center of the pipes.
Sal gets away with a handball on the play as the Dolphins play the ball back to Sal. Now played up in the middle as that time Markey gets fouled on the play. As that foul is going to be on Navarro. And it looks like we have a Clipper shaking up on the play. And a lot of fits and starts to the game, Joe. Clock is stopped several times in both halves in addition to the water break.
And I do have a final from Ramapo as well, Mike, while we do have a break in the action. It was Ramapo 5, CSI 2. That was the final score in the women's game. CSI drops to 1-1. Ramapo improves to 3-1. The women will be back in action here at home on Saturday against William Patterson at 11 a.m. Of course, you can catch that game live on CSI Sportsnet.
Yeah, looking forward to that game, Joe, and looking forward to seeing the ladies in action here. And, we mentioned before, starting out with Keene, Stockton, and Ramapo and William Patterson in your first 4 out of your first 5 games, and then stepping up with a Division II opponent with Concordia. And, once again, the Dolphins not shy about putting the tough games on their schedule early in the year.
And they certainly haven't been, and not at all during the time that I've been here. We've seen them schedule the best opponents they can, and at least the last 4 years that I've been watching, but I'm sure that's something that's been going on far longer than that. But, of course, I can only attest to what I've seen, and, of course, John Tardy always putting quality opponents on the CSI Dolphins men's soccer schedule. Concordia College, another example of that, and CSI continues to battle against their first Division II opponent with under 20 minutes to play in this game. A 1-goal difference right now, the Clippers leading the Dolphins 2-1.
So Bigsby taken down hard on the play. And he's up on his feet, and clock stopped once again with 19 minutes, 29 seconds. And, of course, these stoppage in plays will help the Dolphins, Joe, down by a score of 2-1. Long pass up the center of the field. It's headed up in the air. It folds there to make the play for the Dolphins. 19:18 remaining here in the second half. The Clippers with 2 goals in the opening 5 minutes of half number 2 lead by a score of 2-1 as the Dolphins knock that one out of bounds. And that will lead to a throw-in here for the Clippers. And, if you're Joe, you're not going to rush these plays. You'll retrieve the ball and throw it in.
No reason to do so, Mike. Dolphins have been threatening, and that last chance from Angulo now seems like an eternity ago, but Dolphins nearly got even on that shot that went high, and you can see why the Clippers are in no rush to get the ball in and progress play, as the Dolphins have been threatening time and time again throughout this game. But the chances were more abundant in the first half for the College of Staten Island, especially on the balls that didn't completely connect with the intended target. We saw those long pass attempts just come up a bit too long or too short. Offsides called against the Dolphins, but they came awfully close to some quality scoring chances in the first half. Ultimately, they did come away with the only goal in half number 1, but right now it's 2-0 Concordia in half number 2. CSI needs to get on the scoreboard in the second half to remain in this game beyond the next 18 minutes and 20 seconds.
Interesting substitution, Joe, for the Dolphins. Brian Navarro scored 20 goals last year. Checks out of the game as Christian Puccio will check back in as the clock continues to wind down now. 18 minutes, 15 seconds remaining here in half number 2. Ball played forward and kept in bounds as Baliglu trying to put pressure on the Dolphin defense as the Dolphins look to clear the ball out in toward the center of the field and get their offensive attack going. Condi forced back, and once again the Clippers with a nice play to take the ball away and keep pressure on the Dolphin side of the field. Good opportunity here for the Dolphins to counter. 2-on-2 as that ball is rolled forward, and running onto it is Puccio. He's knocked down on the play as we're going to see the second yellow card shown in the last couple of minutes, and as head coach Jose Dos Santos not liking the call, and I think it was the opportunity taken away more than the contact of the foul that triggered the yellow on the play, Joe.
Yellow card was issued to Luca Sana of the Clippers, and it'll be a free kick to be taken by Lefkowitz once again. Another dangerous spot. Dolphins' best opportunities so far in this half have come off the foot of Lefkowitz. A couple of free kicks, some corners, and, of course, that feed inside to Angulo. Shouldn't forget about the shot by Joe Bellella either, Mike. Another great Dolphins scoring chance over the last 15 minutes or so.
So let's see what Lefkowitz does. Once again, the clock stopped, Joe. 17-17 remaining here in this second half as players fighting for position on the inside. The official keeping an eye on it as the whistle blows, and Lefkowitz's shot is knocked away by the wall. He follows it up, but both shots blocked defensively by the Clippers. Nice play that time by Concordia, as the Dolphins not really able to get much of an opportunity on that one, as the Dolphins look to break in once again, and the Clippers able to knock the ball away once again, and that's Battaglia with the ball. And, you know, Joe, he hasn't figured in the scoring, but he's been all over the field since the first minute of the game, and clearly has been one of the best players on the field for either team here this afternoon.
He has, Mike, and there have been a lot of standouts throughout this game for both sides, many names that we've said time and time again. And with the conditions out here, thankfully for the players and for us as well, it's cooling down a bit as the sun begins to set. But the fact that we've said so many players' names countless times in this game already, it's a testament to their conditioning. It's been a great showing for both sides out there with the pace of play and what we've seen so far in this game. A very back-and-forth game, teams transitioning from offense to defense very quickly. The conditioning of these players certainly evident. It's been a high level of competition thus far in this game.
So Nicholas Peel and Oscar Garcia check into the game here for Concordia. I saw Michael Lynn come off the field. I'm not sure who the other substitute was, but once again, the clock stopped with 16 minutes and 49 seconds remaining here in this second half, as we're going to have another substitution for the Dolphins at the next opportunity, as the Dolphins look to play the ball up. They sky it up into the center of the field, 50-50 ball, both teams fighting for possession, and it will be Concordia to head the ball forward once again. 16 minutes, 25 seconds remaining, as that's Bigsby with the ball, and he'll roll the ball all the way back on goal, and Varon is there to play it for the Clippers. Varon rolling the ball out over to the near side to Sana. Sana's pass is knocked away nicely by Albanese. Albanese trying to split a couple of Clipper defenders, can't do so. And the ball's going to be played by Velasquez, but the ball will be knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Dolphins, and that will lead into a throw-in here, as Jean-Pierre Mataxilia will check into the game. Emmanuel Guyubu will check into the game, and Brenly Salas will check back into the game for the Dolphins, as the clock continuing to wind down here. 15 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in this second half. Dolphins find themselves down by a score of 2-1. Jean Balage into the game, as we mentioned, for the Dolphins. Ooh, tough foul along the baseline, or the touch line, I should say, on the Dolphins. And that's going to lead to a free kick here, as that foul will be called on Boella, and the Dolphins will now look to bring the ball in, as that ball is knocked out of bounds, as Boella on the receiving end of that foul, I should say. And now Concordia with an opportunity to throw the ball in once again, as they get the ball onto the foot of Peel, who just checked into the game, but the ball will go out of bounds, and it will be a throw-in coming up here for the Dolphins. Dolphins now looking to build up the attack. Puccio getting the ball back. A nice feed into the center of the field. A nice play by Sana to get back at the last minute and cut that ball out, as that ball is going to be played on the near side. Lumani and Albanese, a little bit of shoving on the play. We want to separate all the players on the play. Everybody separating themselves. And we're going to stop the clock once again. Clock has stopped a lot here in this second half. 13 minutes, 57 seconds remaining. Freddie Nava will look to check into the game here for That time Boella getting together with Sana. They shake hands, and it'll be a throw-in for the Dolphins as Albanese to throw the ball in. Albanese looking to throw the ball in on the near sideline. It goes out of bounds once again, and the Dolphins will have another opportunity to throw the ball in with 13 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the game. And Joe, Tempest starting to flare a little bit. A tight game, a hot game, and both teams going for it here in the last 13 and a half minutes.
They're certainly going for it, Mike. And we mentioned the good sportsmanship that we saw earlier. That went out the window for a few seconds right there as we saw some shoving along the near sideline. You might not have seen it on your screen given the position of our tents over our heads and in front of our camera, but there was some shoving that went on along the near sideline. No cards were issued. The clock was stopped. Our score remains 2-1 Concordia with 13:12 to play.
Dolphins tried to play that one in, but they get called for the offsides. And, you know, Joe, they did a good job here. They had a few offsides early in the game, but, you know, had really cleaned it up. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's their first offsides here in the second half. 12 minutes, 50 seconds remaining here in half number 2. It's now Varon looking to set things up here for the Clippers. And, you know, once again, giving his players time to move up the field as the clock continues to wind down.
Every second precious at this point, Mike, as the clock winds down toward 12 and a half minutes. Dolphins still trailing. It's been a fairly long scoring drought now for CSI. They scored very late in that first half, have gone over 30 minutes without a goal. During that time, the Clippers have added their first 2 goals of the game, and looks like they'll have another chance right here on this free kick upcoming. And I think that is Dennis Lamani lining up over the ball. It is, so.
Yeah, that was a nice play that time by the Clippers. They looked to get the ball into Baliglu, their big 6'4" sophomore player. The Dolphins committed the foul, and this is going to give Lamani an excellent opportunity, Joe, for the Clippers as he puts that one on goal. A nice save that time by Folds and able to get there just ahead of the charging Baliglu to make the save. So, you know, that time a good shot and a good save by Concordia.
Foldis up to the task on that one. Didn't handle the initial shot cleanly, was able to regather after the ball bounced off of the gloves and get on top of it just in time, as this is Puccio giving chase, and scooping it up is Varon.
Yeah, Albanese once again trying to play that ball through just off a little bit, and the ball able to go through to Varon. Varon will take the free kick and play the ball into the center of the Dolphins' defensive side of the field. Lefkowitz heading the ball up over to Albanese. Albanese playing the ball all the way back by Folds. He'll have to play it with his feet, and he plays it over to Albanese on the near side of the field. Albanese pass knocked away and stolen. That's Garcia, who recently checked into the game, but ball knocked away and played away defensively that time by the Dolphins, as Dolphins able to clean up that opportunity, but the Clippers looking to come right back once again with the ball. Montezilia looking to play the ball forward. The Clippers with an opportunity as they get the ball in front, and that shot goes across the goal mouth, and the Dolphins able to escape as it's Albanese playing it out over to Lefkowitz, but he dribbles it out of bounds, and we're going to have 3 substitutions here, Joe, for Concordia.
It will be number 24, Nemanja Zivanovic, number 19, Alvaro Blasquez, and number 10, Freddie Nava, checking in for the Clippers. For the final 10 minutes of this game, Concordia still leading Staten Island 2-1.
So the throw-in will be taken by Velasquez. He gets it over to Zinovic, who got shaken up before, Joe, in the second half, but he's back on the field as that ball's going to be played across. Zinovic immediately making an impression, and now that shot is going to be knocked wide, and Foles is there to come up with the play. So Zinovic creating a little bit of an opportunity. Folds there to make the play, and now the Dolphins will look to set up offensively. So, playing it forward, looking to get the ball up to Puccio. Ball's knocked away and played there by Salas, and now rolls back to So. Look at this Concordia team now, Joe. 11 players back on the defensive side of the ball until they have an opportunity, and Albanese playing that one back. Foles will have to come over and play that one over the near sideline. Good play that time by Jake. Cut your losses on that play, Joe.
And we'll see if Concordia looks to take their time once again. I'm sure they will, Mike. That has been the theme of the last few minutes, but a fairly quick throw-in right there as the Dolphins pressure along the near sideline.
The ball played up the near sideline is Nava trying to create. The Clippers get the ball into the center of the field, but the Dolphins force the ball back along the near sideline. Nava has the ball knocked out of bounds, last touched by Concordia, so it will be the Dolphins to throw the ball in deep inside their own territory as they look to play that ball forward, and the Dolphins lose possession once again as that's Blasquez. Blasquez, a beautiful chip through, and Foles with good anticipation getting there just ahead of Montezilia.
Just in time, Mike is absolutely right. As Fold is charging off of his line there and getting to that ball, trying to spur the Dolphins into an attack quickly. Sal finds Salas to see if Dolphins can make anything of this.
Salas, a nice job staying on side. His pass across is going to be knocked away by Sana, so an opportunity for the Dolphins to throw the ball in deep inside Clipper territory as we're now inside of 8 minutes remaining here in this second half. Albanese pass across, nobody there. Garcia coming over and able to come away with the ball for the Clippers. Garcia, nice ball along the far sideline. That's Montezilia with the ball. Bumping on the play that time is Lehman and Montezilia, and the Dolphins able to come away with the ball temporarily, but that's going to be headed forward now by Sana. Sana chipping the ball along the far sideline, looking for Garcia. It bounces past him, but Montezilia is there to play the ball away for Concordia. Boella playing the ball on the far sideline. Nice move that time, and that time Bigsby just reaching out and grabbing the Dolphin player and picking up the yellow card. And, you know, Joe, he was clearly beat on the play, and, he figured that his better course of action was to grab the player and break up the scoring opportunity, take the yellow. Probably not a terrible decision.
Yeah, the biggest negative outcome from that is the yellow card, but one that Clippers might be willing to live with, as it'll be a free kick from a long ways away.
Lefkowitz, a ball into the center. It bounces off a couple of Clippers. Bicycle kick opportunity there on the play, goes up over the top, and it will be a free kick coming up here for Concordia. As the clock beginning to come a factor, Joe, with 6:45 remaining here in the second half, and a couple of substitutions coming up here for the Dolphins.
It will be Villamar and Vendra for Albanese and Tenempagwe.
So Tenempagwe comes out of the game after a short stint here in this second half, and Dolphins with a couple of late substitutions here, Joe, for the final 6:30. Ball goes ahead of everyone, and Villamar, who just checked into the game for the first time, there to retrieve it for the Dolphins and gets the ball up over to Vendra. Nice move by Vendra, getting the ball into the center of the field, playing it to Angulo. Dolphins trying to attack with some speed up the far sideline. Angulo that has the ball knocked away, and once again, Zinovich, Joe's been all over the field in the second half, there to knock it away as the pass too far ahead of everyone, and Varon comes out to play it in towards midfield.
He was a relatively recent substitution. Should be another pair of fresh legs, or at least fresher legs out there for the Clippers.
Lefkowitz getting the ball off, and a nice give and go. Lefkowitz with some space, but doesn't get everything on the shot, and Varon there to play it for the Clippers.
Lefkowitz looking to take matters into his own hands there, weaving his way through the defense. Had a little bit of space, but didn't get all of that ball on the shot.
You know, Joe, you were wondering, about Phil coming off of that huge year last year. All those assists, playing so well and picking up right where he left off in 2018. Dolphins looking to attack now in numbers as they play the ball out along the far side of the field. It's knocked out of bounds, and it will be a throw-in for the Dolphins as time Salas up trying to press the issue, and the Dolphins with an opportunity to throw it in deep inside Clipper territory. Clippers with all 11 players deep inside their own defensive zone. At this point, going to try to prevent the Dolphins from outnumbering them, Joe, anywhere out on the field.
it seems like the Clippers are aware that a long throw-in is coming. The Dolphins turning to Lefkowitz for the throw-in. We know how he can launch that ball from the sidelines.
As he launches that one in toward the near post, looking for So, but Bigsby once again there to knock the ball away for the Clippers as he plays that ball forward over to Battaglia, who's been just fabulous all afternoon long as Garcia's pass is knocked away. And an opportunity here for the Dolphins to counter as Salas onside for the Dolphins. Salas inside the box. Salas looking for a player, and that ball deflected into the net. What a beautiful move that time by the Dolphins as they chip that ball in front. I believe it goes off of the Clipper defender and into the net. And just like that, the Dolphins tie the game up at 2-2.
Well, you could see that was trouble the moment Salas got the ball on his foot. A ton of space in front of him, open real estate, and Brenny Salas takes full advantage as he takes the ball in toward that near post, crosses it in front. A lot of bodies in front of the net, in between the pipes, and unfortunately for the Clippers, it hits the back of one of their defenders and goes straight into the net.
You know, Joe, that's why.
We have a correction as
so to be Boella with credit for the goal on the play. Salas with the assist, and you know what a big goal there by Joe to tie this game up at 2.
Well, not off of a Clippers defender, Mike. In fact, off Joe Bilella, as you just mentioned. So Bilella is credited with the goal. He's back in the point column for the Dolphins. They have now tied the game at 2.
Yeah, and you know, Joe, there's just so much goal-scoring talent on the Dolphins. Is that time Boella forcing his way in between the Clipper defense and able to do enough to put the ball in the net. And, you know, Dolphins with a lot of natural goal-scoring ability, and you saw it there out of Boella.
And we saw that from him last year as well, Mike. Certainly an accomplished goal scorer. Came into this game as a reserve, so he hasn't logged as many minutes as a lot of the other Dolphins. And right there, he put himself in prime scoring position off the pass in front from Salas.
So Morris playing the ball forward. Now it's Blasquez with the ball, looking for Garcia. Now he puts the ball up over to Morris as they look to get the ball in the box, and Folds comes out and makes the play on the ball. And, you know, Dolphins find themselves in good position here, Joe. 2-2 the score, 2:45 remaining. Let's see what momentum they carry into the last couple of minutes here in regulation time. So with the ball. So long ball looking for Lefkowitz. Lefkowitz onside once again. Lefkowitz against Sano. Lefkowitz with space. Lefkowitz turns into the box. He's knocked out on the play. And that's going to be a penalty on the foul, I should say, on Concordia. Not inside the box, but just outside, Joe. What a huge opportunity coming up here for Lefkowitz and the Dolphins.
Very close to a penalty, Mike. Lefkowitz about one stride outside of the penalty area. Look where that ball is, right on the chalk, but still a prime position to get a set piece put together for the Dolphins here. The clock has ticked down inside of 2 minutes. We're knotted up at 2, and what has been an exciting matchup between these two Division II teams from start to finish.
So just 2 Concordia players will be up against the wall. Lefkowitz, right-footed kicker. Let's see what he does here. Lefkowitz chipping that ball toward the far post. Varid gets a hand on it. It knocks it out of bounds. He can't hold it, and that will give a corner kick here to the Dolphins as the clock continues to run inside of 90 seconds remaining here in regulation time. Long kick into the center of the field. Sow is there, doesn't get much of a head on it, and Lefkowitz fans on the volley, and now the ball is going to be played by Montezilia, but played back in towards the offensive zone by the Dolphins as the clock winds down, and we're into the final minute of play as that ball goes out of bounds, and the Clippers with an opportunity to throw the ball in. Zinovich with the ball. Zinovich trying to keep the ball in bounds. He's able to do so, but the Dolphins come away with the ball and get the ball to Sow. Sow rolling the ball back to Folds, who'll play the ball deep into the center of the field for the Dolphins. Looking to get it to Puccio, but instead the Clippers able to knock the ball away as clock continues to run with 30 seconds remaining in the game, and maybe one last opportunity, Joe, for the Dolphins to rush the ball down the field, but instead Concordia comes away with the midfield turnover, and perhaps they're going to have the final opportunity. Blasquez with the ball. Blasquez has the ball knocked away. Dolphins clipping the ball out over the headline, but that's going to do it. And we're going to go into regulation. A big late goal by Joe Boella, and that ties the game up at 2, Joe, and takes us to overtime. We had the exhibition earlier a week or so ago. Second home game of the year. Second game of extra time, Joe.
Well, if you haven't tuned in on CSI Sportsnet or have been on campus and haven't visited the CSI soccer complex yet this year, you've certainly missed out, Mike, as the Dolphins have put on a show once again here today, this time against Division II Concordia College. CSI gets ahead 1-0, falls behind 2-1, but in the final minutes they draw even, and we are headed to overtime, knotted up at 2.
So we're going to have a 5-minute break in between periods. So why don't we step aside and take a break here for a couple of minutes, and then we'll get you ready for extra time. We could have a golden goal. We could play 2 10-minute periods, and we'll find out. We're going to step and take a break. We're heading into extra time with the score. Dolphins 2, Concordia 2. You're watching men's soccer coverage exclusively on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends, live sports and watch parties, to Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located 15 Forest Avenue, Island.
Was able to get it between defenders and drill the ball back into the net for Joe, his first goal of the year. So we headed to overtime here, tied at 2. So 2-2 the score. As you had an opportunity to see the stats on the screen as we headed into this second overtime, as we have the flip, as we will decide who will have the opening touch here in this first 10-minute overtime period. We can have a golden goal in this game. 2 10-minute overtimes. If neither team can score after the 20 minutes, we'll call it a draw. But both teams will look for opportunities. And, you know, Joe, the way this game is going, I expect both teams to have opportunities here during the extra time.
We'll see how worn down these teams are by 90 minutes of soccer, Mike. That not enough to decide this game, and we are headed to overtime. 10-minute overtime periods, 2 of them, if necessary. First goal wins.
So let's see. It will be the Clippers with the first touch of the afternoon as Zinovich standing up over the ball, and he will tap the ball forward over to Beligru, and the ball will be played up along the near sideline, but that pass that time by Nicholas Peel too far out of bounds, and the Dolphins will throw the ball in. Throw in immediately stolen away as Nava looking to put pressure on the ball, but the Dolphins able to come away with it and get the ball up to Lefkowitz. Another strong effort by Lefkowitz. Joe, I don't believe he's been off the pitch here this afternoon playing all 90 minutes. I believe as Puccio with a beautiful ball forward and the Dolphins with the attack. So looking to work against Bigsby, but Bigsby, nice defensive play to come away with that one and put the ball up the far sideline. Keep it in bounds as Peel tries to work a give and go, pass too far ahead. And it comes onto the foot of the Dolphins, and they'll have another opportunity here as that pass that time, looking to get the ball into Borella, but just a step or two ahead of him, and Varon there to play the ball for the Clippers. Varon, long pass, looking for Beligru. As that ball's knocked away, he'll pick up the foul as Borella taken down hard on the play.
And you were right, Mike. Lefkowitz is one of 3 Dolphins outside of the goalkeeper, Jake Foldis, to have played 90 minutes in this game. The other 2, Ryan Lehman and Mohamed Sow. So 3 Dolphins going the distance so far in this one. And that's an impressive feat on a day like this, Mike.
Sure is, as Lehman putting that one ahead of everyone, and Varon able to make the play on the ball for the Clippers. 1 minute, 45 seconds here into the first overtime as Zinovich with the ball, but that ball's going to be knocked away by Albanese. Albanese pass is going up for Puccio, but once again, Dolphins not able to get back and get themselves on offsides. They did a much better job in that second half, Joe, but pick up an offsides here early in the overtime period.
And that was a problem early on, Mike. You said that is something they did correct in the second half, but every one of those proves a bit more costly when you're down to the final 2 10-minute periods, if necessary, of course, should we need both. It is 2 10-minute overtimes. Clippers hoping to put an end to that right here.
Bigsby looking to play the ball forward onto Beligru as they had a set play there to head the ball out over to the far sideline. Nice job by the Dolphins to defend, but Clippers remain in possession of the ball as Zinovich once again looking to break his way free, surrounded by Dolphins, but once again the Clippers able to maintain possession. Nice feed on that play by Katz, but that time I believe the Clippers ahead of the play, and they get called for the offsides.
Foldis took a hard tumble there. Never gave up on that play even after the whistle.
Yeah, so the clock continuing to run here with 7 minutes remaining. The official cleaning everything up, wants everybody up, and wants play to continue here as the first overtime period continues. 6 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. Both teams looking for that opportunity to slide in that golden goal and escape here with a victory. Dolphins playing the ball up the near sideline now as that's Albanese. I'm sorry, that was Lehman with the Vendra with the ball, who has it knocked out of bounds, and it's Zinovich immediately coming away. Nice feed, and the shot is knocked wide. That was Beligru coming in. Nice feed, and ball knocked away out of bounds, and it's going to give an opportunity here as that ball is called a corner kick on the play. So an opportunity here, the 6th corner kick of the afternoon, Joe, for Concordia.
We've seen a lot of play to our right so far in this young overtime period, Mike.
So looking to see who's taking that corner kick. I believe it's number 10, Freddie Nava. Nava, nice feed into the center of the goal. Better defensive play by the Dolphins to knock it away. Played momentarily by Katz. That's the second hard foul that Katz has had here in the overtime period. He's going to see a yellow card. And, you know, Joe, we started with a couple of yellows for the Dolphins, but Concordia has picked up the last 3.
This game has gotten more and more physical as it's progressed, Mike. And we mentioned the little shoving match that went on late in that second half. You never like to see that, but that coincided with an increased physicality from both teams in this game. as that ball's launched ahead by Foldis into a pile of players, recovered by the Clippers.
So Bigsby knocking that ball all the way down the field. Foles will back up and play the ball here for the Dolphins as we approach the halfway point of the first 10-minute period of extra time, tied at 2. Both teams looking for an opportunity as Salas, nice back heel on the ball, and looking to come forward was Angulo. He loses possession, and the ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. And it's going to be last touched here by the Dolphins, so it'll be the Clippers to throw the ball in. Nava dropping the ball off as Battaglia will throw the ball in. He throws the ball up the near sideline as the ball's going to be headed away nicely by Boella and played back towards the Dolphin defense where Lehman is there to play it for the Dolphins. Folds, rolling it out to Lehman along the near side of the field as the Dolphins look to bring the ball up offensively. As that ball is knocked out of bounds, and Boella throwing the ball in for the Dolphins. And he'll throw it in once again as the Dolphins continue to move up the near side of the field. Vendra. Dolphins looking to play the ball in the box, but it's knocked away once again by Peel. Both teams fighting for possession. Dolphins look to settle down and now looking to get themselves into the box, and we're going to have a whistle. The flag is up, and it looks like either a foul or an offsides on the play on the Dolphins.
And that was offsides, Mike, and a lot of disbelief over here about that call. Lefkowitz was fighting for possession, and the flag went up right away, and I don't know about that one, Mike.
So it's going to be a free kick coming up here for the Clippers as Varon will take the kick. Varon, a long kick into the center of the field. So doing a nice job stepping up and heading that ball away. As the Clippers look to play it back down the far sideline, it's going to be knocked out of bounds, and Dolphins will give away the throw-in along the far side of the field as Johan Fleischer will come up to throw it in. And he was very effective early in the game, Joe, but we haven't called his name in quite a while.
No, we haven't, Mike, as play picks up to our right once again, but really can't blame someone for not having their name called later in this one. As it's been a fast-paced game, these two teams going back and forth, very physical game as well, and we wind down toward 2.5 minutes remaining in the first overtime.
So a throw-in deep inside the Dolphins' defensive zone as that ball's bicycled towards goal and actually flicked forward that time by Nava. Nice play by Foles to stay with it and make the play for the Dolphins. Ball rolled forward now up over onto the near side of the field as the ball's played up to Salas. Salas looking to work against a couple of Clipper defenders. The ball knocked out of bounds, and once again, it will be a throw-in for the Dolphins. That ball knocked too far ahead, and it's going to be a throw-in opportunity now as Bigsby will come up to throw the ball in. Bigsby, long pass looking for Nava. It's going to be knocked out of bounds, and teams will trade throw-ins. This one coming to the Dolphins now as the clock continues to wind down here in the first overtime. Vendra heading the ball forward, looking for Salas. Salas trying to roll the ball forward, looking for Puccio. Vendra's pass is knocked away. Both teams fighting for possession. Now it's Peel breaking past a couple of Dolphin defenders, but he can't go ahead, and that time Salas never got himself off sides. And you know, Joe, that one was right in front of us, and you know you can't be 2 yards behind the defender, behind the midfield line, and that will cost the Dolphins an offsides and a change of possession as we now have 1 minute remaining in the first period of extra time. Boella, Joe working past a couple of defenders, pass through the leg of a couple of defenders, it bounces off a couple of players, and it's going to be a free kick coming up here for the Clippers as they will look to press forward inside of 40 seconds remaining here in the first overtime. Zinkovic rolling the ball forward to Katz. Katz, soft pass forward, gets the ball up onto the foot of Beligru. Beligru now to Katz. Katz, a nice ball over to Zinkovich. Zinkovich with space and a shot. And the goal. Beautiful goal that time by Nemanja Zinovic. A golden goal for the Clippers. And Concordia will win this game by a final score of 3-2. Second goal by Nemanja Zinovic, and he's able to get the last goal. What a beautiful shot, bending it over Folds into the net with just 18.4 seconds remaining in the first overtime, and the Dolphins lose a heartbreaker here, Joe. The final score is 3-2.
And what a shot by Zivanovic. I'm about to get another look at it on my iPad, but Zivanovic launched that one over the outstretched arm of Foldis. And we're going to have an assist on that goal. No, it's a tackle away by the Dolphins. Unfortunately, it found the foot of Zivanovic, and I just got another look at it. No chance for Foldis. Didn't even get his arm up, and even if he had, I don't think he would have been able to knock that ball out of goal. So a very tough finish for the Dolphins, and a near impossible save there for Foldis.
Yeah, and Elon Katz, who was a late substitution in the game here for the Clippers, really did a nice job on that play. He was able to keep the ball alive and get it into the center of the field. And, you're right, Joe. The Dolphins made a nice sliding defensive tackle, but unfortunately for the Dolphins, the ball went right onto the foot of Nemanja Zinovic. And, Zinovic made no mistake, as good a shot as you're ever going to see, as he's able to put that one up over the head of Folds, bend it into the net, and give Concordia a 3-2 lead as we have an opportunity to take a look at the play. Katz rolling the ball forward, getting the ball back. Nice sliding tackle by the Dolphins, but the ball goes right onto the foot of Zinovic. Zinovic 2 steps on the inside, and a beautiful bending ball into the top of the cage, and that gives the Clippers a 3-2 lead as Zinovic with the final 2 goals of the game for Concordia. Joe, a fantastic home opener for the Dolphins. They drop it in heartbreaking fashion by the final score of 3-2.
And you certainly hate to lose after battling back from a deficit in the game, but unfortunately for the Dolphins, this game comes to an end in the first overtime with the second goal of the game off the foot of Nemanja Zivanovic, and a tremendous showing for him in this game. And for the Dolphins, a very strong showing in their first matchup against a Division II opponent. The College of Staten Island gave a very good accounting of themselves in their first Division II action, and they'll be right back at it again later this week. Another very tough game coming up against Adelphi University. Then they take on St. Thomas Aquinas 5 days from now. So Dolphins will be right back in action in 2 days, and then once again 5 days from now. But if you're the College of Staten Island, you certainly can't hang your heads after a game like that. They battled from start to finish in what was a very entertaining game to watch, a very entertaining game to call, and a great way to open the season for the men here at the CSI Soccer Complex, though, of course, it isn't the result they wanted.
Yeah, and, Joe, the Dolphins moving into Division II, and, these are the kind of teams that are going to play as we get an opportunity to take a look at the final stats of the game. 15 shots for Concordia, just 9 for the Dolphins, 6 shots on goal, 3 saves apiece, 5 corners apiece, fouls 12-10 in favor of the Dolphins, 8 offsides for the Dolphins, including 3 key ones, Joe, in the second half and overtime. And, a great game all the way around, and, a beautiful second half played by Nemanja Zinovic, and, just enough to push the Clippers over the top as they win this game by a final score of 3-2 in the first period of extra time.
So the Dolphins, as I said, back in action in 2 days. But, Mike, again, very entertaining game. Phil Lefkowitz, another tremendous showing for the College of Staten Island in this one. Big play as well down the stretch by Bernie Salas, helping to create the last goal of the game off the foot of Joe Bilella. And for the College of Staten Island, unfortunately today their effort wasn't enough, but it was a strong effort, to say the least. A very good showing for the College of Staten Island in their first action against a Division II opponent. And as I said before, no reason to hang your heads after this game. It was a tremendous game to watch, and I'm happy we got to be a part of it. Happy to be back on Sportsnet for the first time in 2019.
Yeah, it's great. Another exciting year, and of course with all of the changes happening with Division II, it's going to be a great year to be a CSI Dolphin, and a great year to bring you all this action right here on CSI Sportsnet. As the Dolphins dropped this one by a final score of 3-2, Joe. No more home games for the Dolphins for 2 weeks. and their next home game will be against Omega Evers. But we will be back here this Saturday morning at 11 o'clock to bring you Lady Dolphin action as the Dolphins will look to bounce back, Joe, off of that loss to Ramapo here this afternoon.
It was a good start at home for the women's soccer team. Unfortunately, it didn't go as well today on the road. They will enter their next matchup this Saturday 1-1, much like the men entered today 1-1. Both teams dropping their matches this afternoon will look to rebound. The women, as you said, on Saturday, the men back in action on Friday.
So that's going to wrap things up here from the CSI Soccer Complex. Once again, the Dolphins dropping this game by a final score of 3-2. So for Joe Foreman, this is Mike Babusky saying so long and thanks for watching. Don't forget to join us this Saturday morning, 10:45 pregame show, as we will bring you live coverage of the CSI Lady Dolphins as they look to bounce back and get back into the winning column. Have a great afternoon, everybody. We'll see you Saturday morning.